What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So I finally received the software to hopefully try and fix my son's instrument cluster. Got delivered today, so found it in the mailbox when I got home. So I just got done loading it on the computer. I'm gonna go put his original instrument cluster in his car and see if I can get the software to do what I'm hoping it's gonna be able to do. So the unit that I bought is FVDI. It's a copy of Arbitros or Arbrites, whatever the hell it's called. Abrites, I don't know. But it's a copy of it, and it's a FVDI, and it cost me $246 with shipping to get it here to the house. Came with the CD and instructions on how to get the software working. Got everything loaded in, and I turned it on, and it's trying to interface with the car. So I got to go take it out and plug it into the car to see what all options are available. So hopefully this will be able to fix the car. All right, guys, so I'm having a little trouble with this interface. It doesn't want to connect, apparently. So I got to figure out why I can't get this stupid thing to connect. I've got it hooked up to the car, got the car on. I've already looked through the manual, and it says that I can fix the DEF error with this software, but it keeps sounding like it's connecting and disconnecting. And I've already changed the USB cable because I read online that maybe the USB cable was a bad quality. So I may have to go buy a brand new cable for the USB interface and see if that makes a difference, but this is really starting to bug me. All right, everybody, so I wound up loading the software onto my Windows 10 laptop instead of the Windows XP laptop. And when I went to open it on here, it actually told me what was wrong. So apparently you have to set the port settings for the device. You have to go into the advanced port settings, and you have to change the latency to 1. So I'll actually show you what I'm talking about before I get too carried away with this. Now let me close this out. And I'm sorry for the glare. I'm gonna take this up close to the house and show you how to change the port settings and the latency and all that. And then I'll pick back up when I get back out here to the car. Okay, so what happened was I went and opened the software, and it told me that the latency setting was incorrect and it needed to be set to 1 millisecond. So what you need to do, if you're doing it on Windows 10, is you go down here to where it says type here to search. And just type in device manager. And you can see it came up on mine right there. So we're gonna go click device manager. And now that device manager is open and the software has been installed and everything, you gotta go down here to COM ports, and I've got it plugged in. You can see it's plugged in right there. So, and I've got it right here. You can see it's blinking green. So it's actually connected to the computer. So it's USB serial port, COM3. So you just double click that and it'll come up with this. Go to port settings and then go to advanced. And what you need to change is this right here, the latency timer. When it first gets installed, the latency timer is set at 16 milliseconds. You change it to 1 millisecond, and the software immediately started working on this computer. I still haven't tried it on the XP laptop, but I'm going to make sure that that's all that's wrong with doing it on the XP laptop. So now that I have the latency timer set correctly, now I can actually go and open the software and access the dashboard in the car. So I'm gonna go back out to the car. Now the next video is it's gonna have a really bad glare on it because of the sun outside, but I gotta try and get this car done, so I apologize in advance. All right, I just wanna show you that the instrument cluster still has DEF showing on the cluster. So now I'm gonna open up the software, and hopefully I'll show this getting fixed in real time. So open that. Version 18, and get this to open up. All right, so now we're gonna go down here to special functions, instrument K line, open. Hopefully it'll open. It's supposed to open another package of software. All right, let me figure out what's going on and I'll pick up filming after I figure out what's up. Okay, so I just had to double click it. I don't know what the heck I was thinking, but anyway. So now we got to find our cluster, and this one is a Audi A4 Bosch RB4 Crypto 2001 Plus. It could be an RBX, but I know that it's a RB4 Crypto 2001 Plus, so that's what we're gonna pick. And now we're gonna read it. So we're gonna read it. So it's reading it right now. All right, it was reading it. It just took a while. So now you can see where it says RB4 Crypto Data Read. And you can see all of the data is up here now. Everything's filled in. So now what I'm gonna do is, it says just to hit repair RB4 def error. Okay, I'm gonna save that as red A4 DEF dash. Okay, so now I saved that, so now I'm gonna do the RB4. All right, guys, so I still have not been able to get this to work, and I think I just remembered why. I redid the immobilizer off on this car so that I could move it, because I was worried about hitting it with my other Audi. So right now the ECU is in the immobilizer off state. I've got it communicating with the instrument cluster. I've tried to do the DEF repair, but it keeps faulting out. And I believe it's because I have the immobilizer turned off inside the ECU. So I'm gonna have to fix that and then I'll retry it. All right, guys, so I am stepping back and punting on trying to fix this freaking Audi. So what I've got is I've got my original 3.0 liter computer out of my 2005. And I had tried to put a 2.7 tune on it, and for some reason it wasn't taking it. And I forgot about that when I went up to Kentucky to get the red car. And it had basically bricked the ECU. So I'm rewriting my original 3 liter data back onto the ECU. And then what I'm gonna try and do is put this ECU and my instrument cluster into the red car to see if I can get it to start without an immobilizer alarm. And then if I can, then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to swap the cluster for the RB8 cluster that I have that we bought from the junkyard, and get that working with this computer. And if I can do that, then I can put my instrument cluster back in my car, put the new RB8 cluster in his car with my 3 liter ECU, and reprogram it to his keys, and hopefully this will work. So I don't know if this is gonna work, but this is my Hail Mary pass right here. All right, guys, so now what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I have the same coding information. So I gotta make sure that the coding information for the ECU, which is what I'm in right now, 01 engine. But I'm trying to make sure that the coding is the same. And I'm gonna make sure all the data in here is the same, except for the VIN number. I'm not gonna reset the VIN number because I don't wanna screw up anything. So now I'm gonna make sure that the instrument one, okay, there we go. And I'm gonna make sure what the soft coating is on it. All right, and I can go to coating, and it's gonna show me the same coating, and it's gonna show me all the different variants of what I need to change it to. So I'm going to just make sure that the other instrument cluster is coded to the same, and make sure that the other ECU is coded to the same, and then I'll be good to go. So now that I've figured that out, and I've gotten rid of, I had to get rid of some alarms that were in the engine, or that were in the car, and I couldn't get rid of them. It wouldn't let me start the car. Huh. Doesn't usually do that. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, but yeah, I had it running with the other ECU and the other instrument cluster out of my car, and all right, now I'm going to check it again. But I had it running with the ECU and the instrument cluster out of my car, and I switched the RFID chip in the key and put it into my son's key. Because my car doesn't care about an immobilizer, and I'm hoping that when I put another instrument cluster in there, it'll start back up without any worry with the immobilizer. But what I'm trying to do is, once I had it running with the instrument cluster that was out of my car, I did a backup of my instrument cluster. I found the pin code for it and all that, and then I was going to do a new adaptation for a replacement cluster so that I could put a fresh cluster in my son's car, and I could put my original cluster back into my car. And that way I could relearn his RFID chip to the cluster that I put in after I teach it all of the data out of my instrument cluster. But anyway, we'll figure it out. So that's where I'm at right now. Once I get all the coding figured out and get everything squared away, I'll pick back. All right, now I have my ECU from my black Audi, and it was an original 3.0. God dang it. It was an original 3.0, and you can see the coating on it is a little bit different. The coating on here is 1.3, and the one on the one for this car is a 1.6, and the workshop code's different. And now I'm going to look at the instruments and see how different they are as well. So 01201. All right, I'm going to check and see what the other one was, and I'll pick. All right, well, apparently this ECU won't allow me to code to the same as what it was, because apparently the original ECU is an ultra low emissions vehicle, and this ECU is not, and it won't let me code to the ultra low emissions. So anyway, everything else is coded the same. Why is it not starting now? Damn it. Anyway, all right, so this thing is still giving me fits. I can't get it to start and run now, even though I had it running earlier. There's a fault in the central electronics control module, saying that the immobilizer's got a bus fault. I tried to relearn the VIN number for the car off the ECU and the instrument cluster, and it says that there's a bus error on the central electronics control module. So that may actually be what's causing the problem with me not being able to fix the instrument cluster, is the central electronics control module may be bad. So I may need to see about getting a replacement one of those, but I'm still going to keep trying to get this thing going. So I'm going to pull the keys apart. I'm going to swap the RFID chip in here again, back the way that they were, so that I can have every original component back into the red car. And then I'm going to try and clear all of the faults. And if I still can't get the central electronics control module to clear that immobilizer fault, because it's got a bus error, then I'm going to have to look at replacing the central electronics control module. I'm a little nervous about what I'm getting ready to do, because I haven't been able to test this car out. But getting ready to drive the red Audi that my son bought back up to Kentucky so we can get it inspected, so we can get all the paperwork done so that I can get it registered here in Georgia. So getting ready to make a 500-mile trip up there, 500 miles back. And I've only driven the car maybe 30 miles since I got it running. So wish me the best of luck. All right, guys, so I am about 15 minutes away from my brother's house. Been driving all night. I left my house at 3 o'clock this morning, and it's 9:10 now. So yeah, things been doing great. Haven't had any issues with it at all. It's been getting great gas mileage. Freaking very responsive. So really pleased with this car. Hopefully everything goes good with the inspection up here, and then I can drive it back home. All right, guys, so made it up to Kentucky, got the car past the inspection that it had to have done, and my brother sent the paperwork off to get the title for Kentucky, and then he'll meet up with me to give me the title after he receives it. So yeah, I'm driving back to Georgia now. Been in the car for almost 12 hours straight so far, but I still got a long way to go. I still got about another 6 hours before I get back home. So, anyway, I'll post an update when I get back down to Atlanta. All right, guys, I've been driving for 16 hours and 28 minutes, and I still have about another 2 hours left to go. So, wish me luck. All right, everybody, I'm driving down my driveway. So, 17 hours and 46 minutes. I've been awake for 23 hours now. All right, guys, so as you probably noticed in that last little snip of video, the car still has the DEF alarm on the dash. I have not been able to resolve that issue. But when I was driving up to Kentucky, came to the realization that the left turn signals don't work. The hazards work for all four corners. And the right-hand turn signal works. Left-hand turn signal does not work at all. So while I was up in Kentucky, I went to the local junkyard up there, got a new turn signal switch and a steering wheel control module is what it's called. Replaced both of those, and it kept giving me errors because I couldn't get it to code the new steering wheel control module to the car. I couldn't get it to match the VIN or anything. And looked at the wiring diagrams, and it looks like all that, the turn signal switch information goes straight into the steering control unit, and then it looks like that data is sent over the K-lines from the steering control unit to the instrument cluster and to the central electronics unit. And I was having trouble with the central electronics unit being able to get it to code to get the VIN number to match the rest of the car. So that's leading me to believe that there is a problem somewhere in the K-line, either the high side or the low side. So I'm going to start diagnosing what's wrong with the K-line on this thing. I really think that may be the root cause of the problem for the DEF error on the dash. The reason that I can't get a new instrument cluster to code to the car, because if the K-line's not communicating, that would explain why my FTDI software is freezing after it connects. And it would explain why I can't get it to recode anything. So I'm going to stop this video here. Just know that I'm still plugging away at this thing. I mean, obviously, I got the car to where we can drive it. I drove it 1,000 miles up there to Kentucky and back. It didn't miss a beat. Everything was great on it. I do have a check engine light for Bank 1 sensor 2 for the O2 sensors. And there's some kind of an alarm for the ABS controller. Says return flow pump, I think is what it was. So it could be either an electrical issue or it could be the actual hydraulic unit. I'll do a separate video on that. And those are really the only errors that I had on the car. Everything else was great on it. Like I say, I drove it up there. It was real responsive. Didn't have any issues the whole time I was up there. So yeah. I'm going to end the video here. I will do a follow-up video on tracing out every single K-line on the car. I'll show where all the modules are located, where the K-lines are located in the connectors, and hopefully I can find an issue with the K-line that is causing all of these problems that will allow me to resolve these issues. So I'm not giving up on this thing yet. I am not defeated. I'm going to figure this thing out. I know these B6s are like the back of my hand, so I'm going to figure it out one way or a damn another. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long-winded and kind of detailed on what software and everything that I'm using, but none of it has worked so far. So, but I'm not going to let it discourage me. Main thing is I'm trying to show people how all this immobilizer stuff works so that if they have issues with their own cars, they can figure out how to get this thing going, so they're not sitting with a 3,000 or 4,000 pound paperweight stuck in their driveway or garage or whatever. So anyway, thanks for checking out the channel. I'll have an update on the Veloster probably either tomorrow or next weekend. The wiring's taken me a pretty good amount of time, and I've been working a lot of hours, so I haven't been home at nights, and it's getting darker earlier, so I haven't been able to really do anything. Once it gets dark, I can't see what I'm doing out here. So I'll post an update on the Veloster as soon as I can, and then I'll do a follow-up video on the Audi on getting this issue resolved with the def on the instrument cluster and all that, and then and the instrument and getting the turn signals working, and then I'll do a separate video on the ABS showing the typical problems and how to repair that. So thanks for checking out the channel. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a great one.